Welcome in, everybody, to a Thursday night edition of the Joe Quills Show as I return from my hiatus. Good to be back with you here, and we'll have some updates here coming up as we get into the opening night of the week. Um, as we get ready for get ready for the Eagles home opener tomorrow night. They are in Brazil to take on the Green Bay Packers. Um, you know, I'll even give a pick on the Eagles game tonight. So tomorrow night, as well as maybe a couple other games as well here. Um, so we'll do that as well and get you to the weekend. Tomorrow, I was off today, but tomorrow will be a um, my Monday, my last 5 day stretch before I go on vacation. But don't worry, it's going to be a staycation. So we're going to be going balls to the wall with Bleacher Brothers starting next Wednesday when I get back from the doctors in the morning for my quarterly checkup. So, God forgive me, um, we have a lot to talk about here tonight, and I don't have many stories tonight. I thought I had 5 stories, but apparently I only printed up 4. Apparently, one of them either disappeared or I thought I deleted them. I thought I printed it, but I didn't. But that's okay. Oh no, I do have 4. I do have 4 stories. My bad. So we'll get to that. So, going to talk. Going to talk about the situation that happened in Georgia yesterday. I'm going to try to keep it um, out of the political realm because a this is not a um, this is definitely not a place where I want to talk politics. So if you want to talk politics, I'm sure there's other people that will want to do it. I might spout a fact or two, but it's not going to turn into anything political. So we'll talk about what happened down in Georgia yesterday. Um, the Chiefs superfan was jailed, was sentenced today, or yeah, he was sentenced today. Um, I'll tell you about that. Um, a commander's vice president was fired today. I'll tell you about that. And update on the Big 12. Update on the Big 12's UConn talks. So we'll get into that as well. Um, so, um, and forgive me, my phone has been going crazy all night. So forgive me if I look down on my phone tonight because we have got Phillies going on right now. They're in the top of the ninth. They're up 5-2 over the Miami Marlins. I almost said Florida. And Kansas City and Baltimore just started. They were late about 20 minutes because they had a deluge of rain. Um, so they just started. Baltimore's up 7-0. I'll keep track of that for you here. And I am in position number 2 because I have position 1, which is the main computer, which I am not using tonight because I'm watching too much sports here with you. And if I stream tomorrow, so I got to catch. I got to do a lot of horse racing stuff tonight to get ready for Saturday. We are going to be looking at Kentucky Downs, which is the only course in North America that is turf only. And it is a European style course with all the hills and undulations and stuff like that. It really favors European runners, even though not many European runners do. They have a stakes laden card on Saturday. We're going to go through that for you and see if we can get a winner or two. Because I've been cold, even though I did have a nice winner Wednesday. No, Monday. Well, one day this week I did. I don't remember. But yeah, it was Monday at Saratoga. That's right. But, we want to keep ourselves fairly sharp because the biggest day in my year is coming up in a little over 2 weeks of Pennsylvania Derby. So, um, so I'm going to be doing a lot of horse racing tonight after the show, just to get myself ready for Saturday um, because on in case I do stream tomorrow night in Eagle Sidecast. So keep an eye on my Twitch, on my Twitter. I'll let you know if we are going to do that. It is at Joe Quills, just like everything else is. And if it happens, then we'll have a nice little, um, nice little action, a nice little stream there where we can talk Eagles football. So, and hopefully, with it being Eagles football and Friday night football, hopefully we can draw more people into the channel. And just to let you know, if I do any, if I do any um, sidecast like tomorrow night, whether it's the Eagles, whether it's the Phillies, whether it's I want to do a horse racing one, whichever one I do, we will get that all squared away. So I will let you know, and it'll be Twitch only. So if you watch on YouTube or you watch on X, come on over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Joe Quills. Give me a follow, and let's bump up those numbers um, for yours truly. So it was a off day for me today. Um, so, but we'll see. It was an off day for me. Really didn't do much. Uh, I apologize for yawning. I thought I timed the coffee right. I wouldn't be yawning, but we have got opening day tomorrow night. Eagles are in South America, in Brazil. Um, but I'm ready for the game tomorrow, and hopefully we will get an Eagles win there. Um, so yes, I saw this yesterday while I was working, and going to get to our first story I want to talk about here, and it's the one that unfortunately we see all too much anymore, especially with the kids back in school. And there was a mass shooting in Georgia. Um, Two students and two adults died. Um, they caught the 14-year-old kid who was apprehended by the police. Thankfully, um, you know, and hopefully he does get tried as an adult. But I'm not going into politics or law or anything like that, because last thing I want to do is talk politics. So, um, and of course, it took a sports turn from what I saw today, because one of the two adults that passed away was Richard Aspinwall of Appalachian High School, Appalachian High School's football team, who was killed in the mass shooting at the school. Um, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation identified Aspinwall as one of those killed, and he was 39 years old, way too young. He's listed as the football team's defensive coordinator and a math teacher on the school's website. Um, you know, just a sad thing to see happen, and it's tough when, especially when you see kids getting killed yet again over senseless stuff like this. Um, Now, before working in Appalachia, Aspinwall was also a teacher and a coach at Mountain View High School in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Um, Mountain View High School sent their thoughts and prayers, who lost to with the family of Ricky Aspinwall, who lost his life at Appalachia High School today. or actually it was yesterday, but yesterday the quote is, you get the idea. Um, Mountain View extends its deepest condolences to the entire Appalachian school community. Um, Messages with the Aspinwall family in the Barrow County School District were not immediately returned. But this, I mean, this is such a sad thing that occurred. And hopefully, this is not a year where we see this every couple of days to a couple of weeks again, because, you know, I'm sick of it. I'm sure you're sick of it. Um, Now, because the coach, because of the whole incident, if I can call it an incident, tragedy is probably a better word. Um, the game between Appalachian and Monroe High School, area high school, was canceled. They're going to have a community prayer vigil at their football stadium tomorrow night. Um, Also killed was Christina Irimi, who was 53, and 14-year-old students Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo. The shooter opened fire inside the school building Wednesday morning, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Uh, the suspect, Colt Gray, surrendered when confronted by law enforcement. He's going to be charged with 4 counts of felony murder. His first court appearance is expected to be at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Um, the investigation's active ongoing. Um, uh, uh, the GBI also said this is day two of very complex investigation. Integrity of the case is paramount. We ask for the public's patience as we work to ensure a successful prosecution and justice for the victims. So, I mean, and then you had 8 students and a teacher who were injured in the shootings and taken to hospitals. I mean, it's such a horrible thing that occurred. Um, but I did see one thing, and by the way, the Phillies did win, 5-2. Let me go to the cock, aka Peacock, because my cable box is so slow, and it's all because of the data going in there that it just takes forever. So I'm watching it on the cock, aka Peacock. So, and it's 7-7 right now. Um, but I did see one thing, and before I state what I saw today, um, I'm not going to turn this into a debate. I don't want to turn this into a debate over, the Second Amendment, because I have my opinions on it, and basically, I'll just tell you my opinion now, even though I think it's more a middle of the road thing. Now, I understand how the left want to restrict for the most part. I mean, is that the right word? They want to stop a lot of the guns that are out there now that are illegal. Now, the red states, they want all different kind. They want to say, "Oh, it's Second Amendment. You can't do this." Okay, I mean, I can understand because the law is the law. But the thing is, a lot of the a lot of the stuff that they mention on, especially those on the right, um, they, especially Georgia law, they have very lax laws with obtaining a gun, and you know, I I don't know if I should say it's above my pay grade because, I mean, I know how I feel. And basically how I feel is there needs to be a happy medium somewhere. And um, I know if you ask 10 people to interpret that Second Amendment, you're probably going to get 10 different responses. So, you know, right to bear arms, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, yeah, I understand that. Now, I have my opinions on that. I'm just not giving them out because knowing my luck, I'm going to piss off both sides. And I'm not about pissing people off. I'm about not only having fun on here, but also, you know, bring up a um, bring up a thoughtful conversation every now and then. Even though occasionally I do go into the gutter as well, but I just feel that it's such a tough thing that you're gonna piss off half the people with whatever you say anyway. So the best thing I say is, I'm just not talking politics. So I know what I believe, and it's along the lines of we need to reach a happy medium. How we get there, I don't know, but we will. It's just a sad thing, and you have two young teenagers who lost their lives. You have two adults that lost their lives. You got a 14-year-old teenager who, if convicted, at the very least, will spend the rest of his life in jail. Um, I just think that it really sucks. And I said something to one of my friends about streaming in general and articles and everything like that. Right now, I'm a drop in the bucket, but I want to be the bucket. But when it comes to this, we all need to be the bucket. We all need to somehow unify with something like this. And unfortunately, I don't know, we probably never will. This is probably going to be a debate for years and years to come. And probably well after I'm gone, probably it'll be um, it'll probably be something that really is still argued with in decades to come because it's probably still going to be a hot topic item. And it's been a hot topic item for decades. But I'm just calling it like it is. I know I'm trying to tiptoe around and trying to make this a political thing. So, um, but just give your thoughts and prayers to those that passed, those that are affected by this. Um, you know, I mean, something needs to change. We all agree in that. It's just how do we do this, and that's what we have the option to do every couple of years voting. So, um, but we will, hopefully. Um, Hopefully those that lost somebody, those that are affected by this, which is pretty much the entire school community, they find a way to heal. So I want to get off this topic because if I don't, then I know eventually I'm going to piss somebody off. Um, so we'll get away from that here, and we'll get to the next story here, which is a police blotter type story. Oh, by the way, since it's football season, I had to break out this shirt, my Philly 41-33 shirt. If there's any Patriots fans, I just wanted to remind you that you lost to a backup quarterback with the gigantic dick. So, um, so Kansas City and Baltimore tied 7-7. Started second period. Um, Lamar Jackson was sacked and fumbled and lost the ball. Kansas City recovered. There was a penalty on the Chiefs for what I don't know, and then they just missed a flat pass to Isaiah Pacheco. So that's where we are right now. I'm trying to keep up, and I don't know where I am in relation to you guys. So um, now I would say I prefer for those that are watching. Excuse me. I prefer that you don't spoil it, but I'm not. I'm not too worried about it. Like I know one of the streamers I was watching earlier tonight before the stream, um, it was she was saying that she was saying don't spoil it, don't spoil it. So, and I just got a just got a message from one of my friends over on SJ's Discord server, and that's probably one of the things I'm going to work on next week when I'm on vacation, is setting up a Discord server where if all the Bleacher Brothers want to join in with that once I get it set up, I am more than happy to make a segment, a section of that Discord server for them as well. Kind of a group thing because you know I admit I can be a total asshole from time to time, but um, I can be a total asshole from time to time. But the one thing I am showing is I can be a true team player if I really want to be. And trust me, I do want to be a team player. I want to prove to everybody, even though I don't really have to prove it. Um, I'm all about team. Um, and in a way, it's, you know, um, there's no I in team, but there's me. And without me, there is no team or something like that. But you get the idea. So, the one thing I'll say is check bleacherbrothers.com for all your sports needs. And if you're looking to get um, to open a sports game betting account, first of all, first thing I would say is make sure you're in a state that you can get it, because I don't want you doing all that work and all of a sudden you're like, shit, I can't bet. So I want to make sure you're able to do that. Second, if you got a gambling problem, then don't sign up and dial 1-800-GAMBLER. Um, and like I tell you guys, I am always overly transparent with you guys, and I will tell you when there are weeks where it is rent week, like last week was, the week ending today, because, you know, I get paid on Fridays. So I just want to tell you guys, when I give my picks out, I am going to tell you there are weeks where um, there are weeks where um, if you um, you know there are weeks where I will tell you these are my picks, but it's not. Um, I don't have the money for it. So if I had money, these were my picks. Blah blah blah. Let's go. That sort of thing. So Kansas City kicked the field goal there. I believe it's 10-7. Um, yes, it is. So probably on Monday, when I do my Monday show, I'll give you thoughts on the kickoff rule, because I didn't really watch too much of the exhibition season. Um, I want to digest the kickoffs for the most part because of the fact that um, basically you're going from one extreme to the other when it comes to kickoffs in pro football. So, um, and it's so different from what they're doing in college. So, I need to. Well, actually, I probably won't even be able to do it next Monday because of the fact that um, I'm working on Sunday, and that's by design, so I can have extra time for my vacation, my birthday vacation, as a matter of fact. So, um, but um, one person that you won't see in the crowd now, I don't know if somebody ends up with the I don't know if somebody ends up with the costume or not, but if you remember a guy who was in a wolf costume, well, that super fan Xavier Badabar, he was sentenced to 17 and a half years in prison without parole and 3 years of suspended release Thursday for committing a string of armed bank robberies across the United States. Um, and it may be segueing into what I was saying about making sure you have your money, making sure your money goes to your bills and everything first before you get into gambling. So, last thing I want you to do is betting all your money, losing, and then you come to me and say, "Well, you didn't. I can't pay my bills." I've always preached, bills first, not Buffalo Bills, paying your bills first, because that's what it's about. This is supposed to be disposable money, and if you win money, that's great. And if you lose, you don't lose that much money. You lose enough that lose what you can afford. Um, so that's what I would tell you guys. So now, Bob Udir, who's also known as ChiefAholic, he entered a plea deal in February in which he admitted to stealing more than $800,000 in 11 robberies across 7 states and laundering the proceeds through casinos. So yeah, he did have a bit of a gambling problem, even though the one of the lawyers refutes that. He pleaded guilty on one count of bank robbery, one count of money laundering, and one count of transporting stolen property across state lines. So um, he got himself into a lot of trouble there. Now he dressed head to toe in a gray wolf suit. Dressed head to toe in a gray wolf suit, he became a staple of Chiefs games for years and was adored by fans at Arrowhead Stadium on social media, where he crafted a persona of a hardworking, generous bachelor. I don't think he's hardworking or generous, except for working away from the police until he got caught. So, in documents filed last week, prosecutors said Babuder, and I don't know how his name's pronounced, so forgive me, he was able to attend Chiefs games and grow the ChiefAholic persona because of his 16th month robbery spree, which began in March of 2022. Um, He apologized to his victims, to Kansas City, which he called his home, and to his mother and brother. As he left the courtroom, he blew them a kiss. Um, his attorney, Matthew Merriman, said that his robberies were driven by a gambling addiction. Patrick Daly, the senior litigation counsel in the U.S. Attorney's Office, disagreed. He said it's not an addiction to gambling, it's not an addiction to the Chiefs, it's an addiction to fame. And even if you think it's an addiction to fame, um, the one thing that I will tell you guys, and I'll have something I'll mention about my job as well. So, um, the one thing I say is one person who I used to work with. I think I know who I said this to, but I don't remember. So the one person I was talking to the one time, and it was after I went back to being when I went back to being um, an associate and no longer management. I told the the coworker that I think is retired now, because I think that's who it was. Um, they said to me, I do appreciate what you did. Unlike the other managers, you stayed the same. And you know, the thing is with me, I have my moments where I'm a total asshole anyway, and there's times when I'm not, and you know, you do have, everybody has their moments, and a lot of times when I meet an at when I like I tell you guys that I kind of don't want to meet a famous person because I don't want to catch them on a bad day. Because if they're a good person, they just got a bad day and they act like a total asshole, then it just, I don't want it to ruin it, so to speak. So, but the one thing is, I'm the type of person that a title doesn't mean that much to me. Um, I feel that, you know, just because I have a title, it shouldn't change you. Now, there's times where you have to be the person, if you're management, that you got to put your foot down on something, got to stop something, you got to correct something. There's always something with that. But in terms of, you know, in terms of fame, I'd probably even be more recluse than I am now. Um, you know, and like I said, with a lot of things that happen with the WNBA, with charter flights and everything like that, you have a few 6'4" women walking in the airport concourse. Sorry, they cannot blend. How many 6'4" women do you see on a typical day? Hardly any. And you see 4 or 5 at once. Oh yeah, they're basketball team, something like that. So, but whether you consider it fame or you consider it an addiction, something happened here where he ended up, for lack of a better term, he ended up snapping, and he um, you know something happened here, and he just couldn't live up to the fame, or if it was an addiction to gambling, it may be a combination of all the above. So, prosecution said from one of the robbery victims, my team didn't deserve to be held at gunpoint twice, so a man in a wolf suit could travel the country watching football and placing extravagant bets. So that tells me it's a little bit of everything. Um, Bobadier told a Nashville credit union employee that he would blow your brains out and that if you gave him a die pack, he would come back and put a bullet in your head. Um, in a separate filing, Merriman, who's Babador's attorney, said that he's remorseful, hopes to train in mechanical trades, and wants to help others struggling with gambling addiction. Now, the question is whether or not he's admitting this is a problem or his lawyers are telling him to say that. So, if it's from the heart, then I will say, hey, But a lot of times you do have to realize that sometimes I mean, the only way you can solve a problem is admitting that what the problem is and fixing it. So, and Chiefs are up 10-7. The Ravens went for it on fourth down. They couldn't make it. Personally, I would have punted there on 4th and 3. But then again, I'm a fan of the team where if they get within 2 yards, they're going to do a tush push. So, but But back to the story here. Um, but an ESPN investigation found that Babadar had a troubled upbringing and a history of legal issues, and that much of what he posted about himself on social media was untrue. Merriman wrote in filing that Babadar experienced childhood trauma and chronic homelessness. So, and you don't realize that this, not being like other kids and um, seeing everything that goes on, you know, it does affect you. Um, um, his secret life unraveled on December 16, 2022, when Bixby, Oklahoma police arrested him fleeing an armed robbery at the Tulsa Teachers Credit Union. He was released on bond in February 2023. And a month later, after receiving $100,000 in winnings from two bets on the Chiefs, he cut off his GPS monitor and escaped. Thank you, coach, whoever. Thank you, referee, whoever who called that penalty on James Bradbury, even though I will tell you, as an Eagles fan, it was a penalty. And I sat here with my friends here at my apartment and said, that's a penalty, game over. So now, as he evaded authorities in several states, um, he evaded authorities for 4 months and robbed banks in Sparks, Nevada, and El Dorado Hills, California. He was finally arrested in Lincoln, California. Um, Merriman, his lawyer, said that he should receive a 10-year prison sentence to allow him time to right the wrongs. Due to his quasi-celebrity status, Xavier is a unique person to potentially repay the financial losses created to his actions, by his actions, I should say. Now, he's required to pay $532,455 in restitution. Um, and forfeit property gained as a result of his crimes, including an autograph painting of quarterback Patrick Mahomes that he purchased at a charity auction and been recovered by the Kansas City FBI. In April, a judge ordered Babadar to pay $10.8 million to the Bixby teller he threatened with a gun. Um, he awaited sentencing at Leavenworth Federal Prison. That's the prison that Michael Vick was in. And that's a prison that's no joke. That's max security, I believe. He requested to be housed at the Greenfield Federal Penitentiary in Illinois. So, but the thing is, whether it is um, whether it's the fame that did it, whether it's gambling, whether it's the Chiefs and the rise of the fame, it's probably a combination of all that. Something happened where he snapped, and it's just a shame that happened, and he's got to pay the price, and he's going to be there for 17 and a half years. So hopefully, he does clean himself up, and he'll be out when he's about 50. Hopefully, he can go on to other things. So, um, yeah, you know, but unfortunately, he went off the deep end there. Um, On to the next story here. This has turned into one big. This turned into one big police blotter and other things like that. Um, the Commanders fired an employee today after a video surfaced yesterday in which he made comments about the team's players being anti-gay, and it's more than just that. And I'll give you my thoughts on this as well. Um, He also accused Cowboys owner Jerry Jones of being racist and called NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell a $50 million puppet. But wait, there's more coming up. Rail and Teen, at least that's how I think it's pronounced. He was Washington's vice president of content for the previous 4 years. He also criticized the fans and called them mouth breathers. What a piece of work. So the team on Thursday confirmed the firing via spokesperson, but they had no other comment on the matter. Rightfully so. Um, Now they had suspended Entine on Wednesday, shortly after the video from O'Keefe Media Group was played on social media platforms. According to the video, Entine had met the woman on the dating app Hinge, but she turned out to be to be undercover for the media group. They met twice in June at restaurants in DC. So even dating apps are breeding grounds for catching people from doing stuff like this. So Wednesday, the team said it would investigate the situation. Less than 24 hours later, he gone. Um, the language used in the video runs counter to our values at the commander's organization, a spokesperson said in the initial statement. Now, here's the thing. For all those that say, "Oh, we're just, we don't have our First Amendment rights and blah 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 and this that and the other thing," the thing is, when you join, when you get hired at most jobs, they have a code of conduct. And if they don't share it with you, they probably do, and they'll just use it against you without you knowing. But at least you have something if they cover it for you. Like for example, my job, we have a review of the code of conduct every summer. And, um, it's, there always seems to be something comes up. And I always tell the story about how somebody was wearing a shirt that my employer thought was one of their t-shirts with their logos on it, a t-shirt with their logo on it. So they went through a whole investigation, could not confirm it, and that was the end of it. So, um, so they couldn't fire him because they couldn't confirm it. So the one thing I would say is, some of the things that can get you into trouble. Now the one thing is, if you were just to go to, like, some random person were to go to my employer and say, "Hey, Joe did this. I think you need to investigate it. I think you need to fire him, blah, blah, blah." Now, on typical days, I do not have anything that's company related. I don't have my information of where I work on Facebook. That's actually because one of the groups that we have, um, the associates have on Facebook, says that if you have said employer as your employer on Facebook, we will kick you out of the group. But the one thing is, I put on there that I work at the Joe Quills show, which is true in a way because it is my side job, you know, because I'm trying to promote this any way I can. And I'm not going to tell you, you know, you know, First Amendment rights. I understand why you're saying that, but the thing is, there are consequences. And if you're wearing something that has your company's logo on it, even though you're not on the clock, you are a employee of that company. Now, the only question I have here, and this is probably something that will be um, something that'll be investigated. And maybe he ends up suing Washington and whatever. I doubt that. He probably will, but um, what did his Hinge profile say? Did it say that he worked at the Washington Commanders, Washington Redskins, Washington football team? Did it say it on there? That's the question I have. But um, he did have a lot of controversial statements here that you would expect from somebody like this who leans a certain way on the political spectrum. And if he doesn't, that's why I'm saying possibly, because I'm trying to stay open minded on everything here. At least I can. Um, and of course, um, these statements I'm about to read do not reflect the opinions of Bleacher Brothers. Do not reflect myself. I'm just quoting what he said, and it's not done on purpose. Um, so, NT told the undercover reporter that over 50% of our roster is white religious, and God says fuck the gays. Come on. And he goes, their interpretation. I don't buy any of that. Another big chunk of low income African Americans that come from a community that is inherently very homophobic. He also said, I don't think the commissioner of the NFL hates gay people, hates black people. Jerry Jones, who really runs the NFL, I think he hates gay people and black people. So he's literally he's burning every bridge imaginable. So, he's not burning one. He's not burning, if there's like 30 bridges around that island, he burned 29 of them already. Um, he was with the Jets for 2 years before ending up in Washington. He called the league's social justice initiatives performative. Now, whether that's the case or not, that's everybody's opinion. And it may be the case. Because a lot of stuff that out there is bullshit. But he said it's not done out of the goodness of their hearts. It's done because George Floyd changed the game. It's to make as much money as possible. The NFL cares about the bottom line like any corporation above all else. And I know I've heard all kinds of things about, the salute to service stuff, and all the things that they do, that it is, a lot of it is money motivated. If it is, it is. If, I try to tiptoe away from that as much as possible because I'm not going to um, get myself into trouble because I'm going to state my opinion because of this and that. And I can tell you, as I get more and more into things like this, it gets harder and harder for me to voice my true opinion on things. And just like normal life stuff, you know, it's so much harder now because I do want to keep my nose clean. I do want to keep everything on the up and up, I'm not going, and the thing is, and I also said this a million times before, if somebody says something that's derogatory 15 years ago, because Twitter's been around about 15 years, right? If somebody's been around 15 years and something is 13 years old, I would hope that the person changed as a person and they don't really believe in what they said. So that's what I would tell you guys. And if I was the person that was hiring, I would have questions about certain things that they have on their social media or anything that you find on them, because you know you want to tread lightly because you don't want to get yourself into trouble either. But you want to make sure that you're hiring the right person for the job, and people do change. It's just people forget that shit's on their profile from X amount of years ago. I'm sure I do too. Everybody does. But um, and Teen also said, because the league makes so much money, it can faux prioritize DEI for the sake of good publicity. Now, he also said on the video, because if you're going to torch the commissioner, you're going to torch owners, you're going to torch everybody else, why not go after the fans and the players as well? And that's what he does next. Most of the fans are high school educated alcoholics. And he called them mouth breathers. Now, here's the thing. Many high school alcoholics cannot afford to go to NFL games anymore. They can't go to baseball games anymore because, not a full season ticket package like you would need in the NFL. And why is that? Because the tickets just go higher and higher with every passing year. Salaries go up. What's the best way to recoup that money that you're paying out to the players? Ticket sales. Boom. So, um, and he also said some players are dumb as hell, and said some who were smart don't stay that way if they're getting in the head too many times. Those who get their heads knocked around a few times are more susceptible to conspiracy theories. I don't necessarily think it's the head. I just think it's. I'm not going to go there. I'm not getting myself into trouble. I'm not getting myself into that political spectrum thing here. But um, now he also told the reporter, whose name was not revealed and who can be heard on the video but not seen, that his job was to sell hope. 3 years ago, there were videos of pipes leaking at then called FedEx Stadium. Fans said it smelled like sewage, but Teen said, and he tweeted out, it was just water. That, he said, is state-run media. But that's. It just seems like something that you hear this time of the year with the presidential election and everything, and I'm not going there. So you guys can say whatever you want. It's just, uh, but it is um, it does seem like he is Mr. Conspiracy Theory. So, and the one thing is, you know, if he let it be known that he is front office staff for the Washington Commanders on that Hinge profile, or he met with somebody and said that, then there's something that really um, is troubling. Now, another thing is, the only other thing I would say is, the only way he could sue and win is dependent on what are the wiretap laws in Maryland or Virginia or wherever this date took place. Because if it's in a state where both sides have to agree to it, then he might have a chance here, especially if he didn't agree to it. But um, but even so, it's You know, Washington did the right thing and fired him. Um, that's something that shouldn't be said, and it's just troubling stuff that was mentioned there, and I don't even know why. I don't know why he was doing that, but somebody called him. He gone. So I did mention last week, and unfortunately, SJ is on assignment here, and she told me that it just doesn't make sense that UConn goes to the Big 12. And one reason why I say it would is their basketball, um, the basketball in the Big 12 is the best right now in the country, best conference, and UConn would enhance it, even though they would kind of be out on its own island there in Connecticut. But um, but their football program plays as an independent, and UConn wants to bring, or the Big 12 wanted to bring the football program along later as opposed to the other sports. But um, now, but the conversations about potentially adding UConn as a member has stalled. Commissioner Brett Yormark said Thursday morning. And there's an interception, a bad interception by Patrick. What's up, Mahomes? So Ravens get the ball back in midfield. So um, Yormark said in a statement today, following detailed discussions with my conference colleagues alongside UConn leadership, we have jointly decided to pause our conversations at this time. We will instead focus our attention and resources to ushering in this new era of college athletics because they did add 6 to 8 teams in the last year or two. So they added 4 this year. They added 4 the year before. So a lot of turnover, but a lot of expanding because all the power conferences have 16 to 20 teams now, or so it seems. Um, um, the meeting included the athletic director, David Benedict, the board chair, Daniel Toscano, included a conversation about how UConn would invest in football in order to be competitive in the Big 12. Because if they were to go in right now, they would be 0 and 12 and 0 and whatever in conference. Easy. Now, the plan for UConn would have been coming into the league in football in 2031 and sooner in the other sports. The talks, per sources, the talks stalled and ended up being tabled because of the timing. With the initial season of the 16-team league underway and schools facing looming decisions in the House case and figuring out revenue sharing, adding membership simply wasn't a priority. So, but the thing is, UConn would have a 27-month period that they would have to be a lame duck in the Big East. So they have to give at least 27 months notice, I believe it is, that they were leaving the conference. So it's more than just them just going there right away. So the earliest they would be in there is 27, I believe. So um, now this decision does not come as a big surprise to tabled discussions. Um, Back when UConn emerged as part of the talks last month, and our skepticism hung over the Huskies potentially being added. ESPN reported there needed to be some votes added for the league to get the votes to 16 of the 16 Big 12 presidents. It would have needed to add UConn. Um, the talks were summed up this way: there's a far distance between conversations and anything that would happen. Um, Huskies have been long coveted by Yormark, the commissioner, who sees college basketball as an undervalued asset. UConn has the best combination of men's and women's basketball teams in the country. As we all know, the men won the last 2 national championships. They would also get a piece of the New York market, which would, in theory, add value in any upcoming television deals. Um, Now, as commissioner, it's his responsibility to explore a variety of value-creating opportunities on behalf of the Big 12. So, Big 12 has been considered the country's top basketball league in recent seasons, and it only would have been amplified more with the addition of the Huskies. So, um, now Huskies have been in the Big East since the 2020-2021 season, after playing in the AAC since the 2013-14 academic year. Now they also had Big 12 also had talks with Gonzaga, but that would have been even more interesting because they do not field the football team. But that didn't go anywhere either. So UConn isn't going anywhere right now. That's okay. They still have the Big East. Um, I thought I had seen that he didn't do anything. He didn't have anything that they weren't going anywhere anyway. But or Fox didn't want them in the Big 12. But um, but yeah, it's I'm not surprised, but with the way the Big Ten is now, where you got 18 teams, you got teams from the West Coast, you got the ACC having teams in California and Texas. They're no longer regional; they're all over the country. Um, the one thing I would say, though, that I feel, and I experienced this going back to college at Drexel University, tests aren't what they used to be. A lot of times they take the tests online. You could Google the question and find the answer. But it is tests can be done online. Kids don't even have to go to class per se. I don't know what the rules are with teams and schools and conferences with online classes, since that's a big thing and that's how I got my 2 degrees. So um, so I would definitely say things are so much different now because you could probably study on a plane for 3-4 hours if you were going from Rutgers to California, or California to Michigan or Ohio State. I imagine that could be the case, but you do have all that, and it is what it is. So, so I got some announcements here. Um, Tomorrow is tentative, only because um, I got to get all my horse racing stuff done tonight for tomorrow and for Saturday. And on top of that, um, it's just so much stuff going on. Also, um, the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network is delayed, and I know there will be some people that are going to hear this that may be a detractor of the Bleacher Brothers, whatever. The one thing is I will tell you is you're not going to pull me into any rivalry of any sorts, because I will just walk away from it. Because I do not make the decisions, and even if I was told some of the things that the detractors will claim, and also what people on our side will claim, guess what? Whether it's whether you think the detractors tell the truth or we tell the truth, there's probably 3 different stories: their side, our side, and what really happened in the middle. So that's and the one thing is, I'm just going to say that I'm just going to let those that handle that type of thing themselves. And I'm just going to do my thing, which is write my articles, do my shows, and go from there. So tomorrow's tentative. So keep an eye on my X at Joe Quills, and I'll let you know if we're going to do a stream tomorrow night or not. I'm leaning towards no, but things can change between now and about 3 o'clock when I go to bed. So, also, next week, I said we were going to go to 4 nights a week. I'm going to take next Wednesday off because I do want to go see a couple of my buddies from school, from high school. So the 11th, there's not going to be a show. So we'll have shows next week like we have been doing Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, the 9th, 10th, and 12th. Starting the 16th, we are going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Monday will be a combo show because it will also be a Monday night football with the Eagles, and I'll be all eagled up for that game. Hopefully, it'll be a 1-0 Eagles, because if the Eagles are 0-1, oh god, that's gonna make that stream such a horrible experience because I'll be going against the game. Also, um, the audio audio only episodes I would create for you guys, they are going to return. They're going to return on Monday. So follow me at Joe Quills everywhere. It'll soon be on iTunes. Um, I think I have 4 episodes uploaded. I need 5. So check that out, and we will get you. Um, we'll get that back up and running, and that's definitely one cog that I've been lacking over the last few months because of everything that's been going on. So we'll get that all under control for you guys. Um, so, so I'm going to call it a night here as we are about to reach halftime here. It is 13-10 Kansas City. Um, Justin Tucker kicked a short field goal after missing a 54 yarder. So, um, so, um, so we're going to call it a night here, and we'll be back, if not on Friday, on Monday. Um, Monday will be a show. Um, we'll have Monday Night Football as well, but it'll be mostly my typical Joe Quill show stuff. So, Phillies did win. They won. Phillies won 5-2. Um, and the Braves lost to the Colorado Rockies. So the lead is 8 in the division. So the so let me just check this here for you. So the Phillies' magic number to clinch the division is down to 15. So, and that's over both the Mets and the Braves because the Mets are now tied with the Atlanta Braves at 76 and 64, 8 games behind the Fightin' Phils. The Mets right now, or the Mets are off today, so you got 2 games in progress right now. Texas leads the Angels 3-1, bottom of the 8th. San Diego's up 3-0 on Detroit in the top of the 7th. Earlier finals today, the Reds beat the Astros 1-0. The Twins beat the Rays 4-3. Mariners defeated the A's 6-4. Diamondbacks lose to the Giants 3-2. Pirates beat the Nationals 9-4. And I mentioned the Rockies over the Braves. So let me just check one other thing here. And I am going to pull something up here. Let me see if it has what I want here. Let me just check here. Um, okay, so let's go back to the main page here. I'm going to share my screen here before we call it a night here. Just want to show you bleacherbrothers.com. We have all kinds of specials going on right now. Um, One thing I will tell you is once you go to the main page, now one thing you can do, um, you have the different promotions here. You got the bet five, get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed if you're a new customer. And all customers, if you opt in, get 3 months of NFL Sunday ticket for free. Um, Also, we have like a promotion here with, I believe it's Fanatics. Yeah, I'm sorry, MLB Shop at Fanatics Experience. You can get such things as the Phillies uh, City Connect jersey. You can get the All Star jersey. You can get the home jersey. You can get the trashy Midnight Blue jerseys. Some of the things there. Um, Got Fanatics NFL. You get different things here. Prize picks. Uh, that's something here. You get all these different stories here. Unfortunately, the Goudreau's, their funeral set for Monday. Um, Another sad story. Um, and one thing is, if you go to the betting section of Bleacher Brothers, um, you know, you have our stat predictions, and unfortunately, I'm the first one there, and I take up like half the program, half the section with the way that I did my predictions. But everybody has their predictions. We have player props in there, predictions for that's from last week. You got the promotions here. You got, oops, that's the BetMGM promo. You just click on each one here. If you're looking for a new sports book, head on over to Bleacher Bet, betting section of Bleacher Brothers, and you got FanDuel, you got DraftKings, BetMGM, Bet 365, and Caesar Sportsbook, and you know I had to pick a favorite here, and it's such a hard thing that they're all good to me. FanDuel I chose as my favorite because you can put $200 in, you can spend 100 in the casino, and you don't need a separate pocket of money for the horse racing, which is what I like. Um, you got Sleeper, except I can't use that in Pennsylvania. Prize Picks, the same as well. Underdog Fantasy, better, not available in Pennsylvania, unfortunately. Um, you know, and the one thing I would tell you guys, and there's also the guide to PGA betting, handball betting, boxing betting, how to bet on NCAA football, you know, all these different things here. And you also got guides there as well. So you got all different things there that are there for you. And you could go through the frequently asked questions. You got things there. Oops. I'm talking the whole time and I'm not even sharing my screen here. So hold on. Let me share that. There we go. So let's go back to the main page here because I was talking there without. Um, so there you go. You got the main page here. Um, got the different promos here: FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Bet365, and Caesar. So we got 5 different ones there. Got promotions with Daily Fantasy, Better, Sleeper, Prize Picks. If it's available in your area, use one of those links. Now, one thing I would recommend, because I'm the type of person that wants to check into this stuff first, like Better, they said, oh, sign up for a Better account. So if you're unsure if it's available in your particular state, I highly recommend Googling them, and then you can see if you can do them more than just like with Sleeper. I can only do regular fantasy football. I can't do any of the other stuff that they have on there. So, I have betting guides for PGA. Got prop bets there from yesterday. how to bet on NCAA football, uh, how to bet NFL, MLB, live betting, how to bet parlays, how to bet the point spread. We're going to, you know, if there's something that is, if it's something that's gambling related and you don't see it, just hit load more. You may get some additional stuff here. So, little things that can help our readers, especially if you're new to the game. So, sports. Um, so that tells you that the states that it's in, that gambling is in. You just gotta check the states and how they run things. In Pennsylvania, they basically run them through. Um, it's through the Gaming Control Board, but it's also, it's got to be connected with the casino. So, like for example, Bet365 was recent, and they're associated with Prescott now, so that's there. So, um, and also, um, if you go on here, like for example, Bet365 is new in Pennsylvania, so they have a different promo from here. You got the FanDuel promo. Um, the 3 weeks of NFL Sunday Ticket is available, even if you're not in the, um, even if you already have an account. Caesars, there you go again. DraftKings, BetMGM. They had two promotions: one where all the states are available, and one that's Nevada only. Uh, you know, and and it tells you everything about how to do that. So, promos, I did that already. Sports betting guides. I even gave you a guide for horse racing as well. Sports books, DFS promos, daily sports fantasy. I think this is what I want to sleeper, prize picks, um, better, no sweater. Nice how they did that. Underdog. There was one that I signed up today. It is with a site called Rebet. And if you're always looking for something like that, um, I would highly recommend letting me know because I can send you the link to sign up, and you can go from there. Um, yeah, and here's the live odds, and you get the odds of all the casinos now. We're going to use this for my Philly fade here. Um, so I've been using the DraftKings odds. So now for Friday, uh, let me get rid of me there. There we go. So we have the NFL games here. Eagles take on the Packers. Eagles are a 2-point favorite at -110, which basically means if you wanted to win $100 on the Eagles game tomorrow, you'd have to bet 110. Boom. Now, if you think the Packers are going to win, or the chances of a team winning, of them losing by 1 point but covering that spread, are pretty slim. So I would say if you're a Packers fan or you think the Packers are going to win tomorrow night, boom, take the money line there. That's what I would recommend. But I'm taking the Eagles there at -110 on Friday. Other games that I'd like, Um, okay, here's a perfect example. The Giants are a 1.5 point dog. The chances of them losing by exactly 1 point and winning this wager plus 105, plus one, plus 1.5 at minus 110, and not winning this is very slim. So, what I would recommend, and this is going to be my second pick of the weekend, I'm going to take the Giants money line at plus 102. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if you want to make some money, and if you know how to read these lines, like I think I do, I'm going to tell you to take the Giants on the money line as opposed to the point spread. Now, the one thing I will tell you guys, I'm not going to shame you, because some people may just only like to play money lines, and that's fine. Some people may only like to play point spreads. That's fine as well. But, you know, because I know these what I think I know about these lines, I can give you a little bit more insight on that, and hopefully that helps you. Because the chances of the Vikings winning 21-20, which would be right on the over/under line, the chances of them winning by one and the Giants covering that point spread but not winning the game is pretty slim. So that's why I would say take the money line if you think the Giants are going to win that game, because it basically anything under a field goal is basically a toss up in my opinion for the most part. So that's my second pick. Um, and that's going to be my last pro pick that I have for you guys this week. So we're light on pro games this week. Um, I just want to get a feel for everything with the NFL starting. So my two pro picks: Eagles -2 at -110, and the Giants money line at plus 102. So now let's look at the college games here, um, and this will be quick here, hopefully. Um, and take advantage of all the promotions that they have on here, no matter um, if it's pertinent to you or to everybody. Um, one thing I will say is um, some of these games are interesting here. Uh, Florida Atlantic hosts Army. All right, I am going to take a trick off of the um, Dan Patrick show. I think it was Paulie Pabst who might have been McLovin, who has his own show now. First half line. First half line is Army plus 2.5 with a money line of plus 130. Um, we're going to do something different here, something we haven't done before. I'm going to take Army plus 2.5 at minus 108 over FAU in the first half. So whatever the halftime score is, that will determine if we're a winner or a loser. So, uh, and if you wanted to, you could make it 1.5. You can make it 1. You can make it -1 if you wanted to, depending on what you wanted to do, or you can make it 4.5 for Florida State, 5.5, or Florida Atlantic, that sort of thing. So that's my first pick. I'm taking Army plus 2.5 at minus 108 for a first half spread, doing something different with you guys this week. Um, Mm, 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 mm. Uh, okay, so we have Navy taking on Temple. Temple is dog shit. They're the worst team in FBS this year so far. They're rated the worst. I'm going to pile on here. I told you to take Oklahoma last week. I'm going to tell you to take Navy minus 13. So let's add that in there. And just looking if there's anything else here. Nebraska is a 7-point favorite over Colorado. Um, you know what? I'll take Colorado plus 7 there. Um, yeah, I think that you look at that and you see what they did against North Dakota State. Wasn't they North Dakota State is one of the top FCS schools, and they always give FBS teams trouble. So, and I don't know if Nebraska should be a 7-point favorite yet, but we'll give Colorado the nod there. It's plus 7. Um, Florida State must be off this week because I was going to fade them again. Let me just check one little thing here. And this is the summer. This is the football season where I'm going to have my phone going off like all the time because I ended up in 6 fantasy football leagues this year. And that's the reason why there were no shows on Tuesday and Wednesday because all my fantasy drafts were all on 2 nights. So it was really hectic for me. Um, Schedule. Um, Florida is off this week, or Florida State, I should say, because I was going to recommend piling on Florida State, but they don't play till the 14th when they take on Memphis. So they need that week off after 2 lackluster performances. So my 3 picks: college, Army plus 2.5 at minus 108, Navy minus 13 at minus 110, and Colorado minus 7 or plus 7 at minus 105. If you're daring enough to take that in a parlay, right now it's at plus 617 as of Thursday night. So those are my picks, and that's going to be it for this Thursday show. Keep an eye out on X if I do a show tomorrow because I'm going to try to get as much horse racing done tonight as I can, even if it means staying up till 3:30 in the morning because take advantage of the fact that I work from home. So that is it for now. Do appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch both during the show as well as after because I'm all about before and after. So let me just check one thing here. Okay, so that's it. We're going to call it a night, and we'll be back um, Monday night for sure. Also, check also eligible Saturday morning at 10 a.m. I think it's going to be on my side this week, so I will let you know about that as well. I got to figure out the um, I got to figure out a couple of things as well. So that is it for now. I do appreciate everybody. I'll catch you on also eligible Saturday morning. It'll be me and Frank. We'll be talking over Kentucky Downs, and we'll be here Monday at 9 o'clock. So catch us then. And have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend, and catch you on Monday.